This is Global Talent. You have a prepaid call from
Suge Knight.
an incarcerated individual at the R.J. Donovan Correctional Facility, San Diego, California. This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded. To accept this call, say or dial 5 now.
Man, it's been one of them motherfucking nights. I should have took some pictures before. Nice, it's the end of the night and it was motherfucker. So we coming to you live, Diddy late nights. Man, anything can happen. I'm just vibing. It's so wide. Yeah, I'm thinking I'm gonna wear this here in Toronto in the morning.
Hey, yo, let me ask you a question.
Everybody knew what's going on with Puffy for years. The higher up was doing to him. He repeated what they was doing to him. He does it to everybody else. And that's a cycle that's been going on in the music business. Like, I never was at those parties, a good thing for that, but I never was officially a part of the music party life. I was in the music business, doing what I did to do to take care of me and mine. No more, no less. And I think all the stuff that we can share, it can be a life lesson learned.
I agree, Suge. And you know something? You know, my position always, because of my experience, you know, with law enforcement throughout my life and with the government, you know, for me, it's always innocent until proven guilty. I don't care what it is. You know, I've known how these people play games, and no matter who it is, I feel that way. But, you know, this stuff that's coming out with Puffy, I mean, if any of it is true, and again, I have no knowledge either way. I haven't spoken to anybody. I haven't gotten into it. My own question, how does it go on for so long? You know, when we were on the street, we didn't get a day's rest. I mean, the government was all over us. The FBI is all over us. They got investigations on us. They got informants. They got surveillance equipment.
But he was Mike, not cutting you off, but he was an informant for years.
Was he really?
Yeah. That's why when people was like, oh, he's going to run, oh, he's not. It's the reason why these type of people get caught up. They always been feeling they bigger than the law because they part of the law. You know? And as you know, all these people get tired of their rats sooner or later. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at the same time, you know that. You can't, it's one thing, when I first got to Sheridan, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I come from the state where we don't fuck with the police, we don't talk to police, and they trying to talk to us, we cuss them out. So I get to Sheridan, and his black officer kept trying to speak to me. And I wouldn't speak to him. He said, man, why you don't never speak to me? I said, man, I don't know who you deal with over here. We don't have no conversation with the mother police, you the police. So one day he said, man, I just want to say words to you, one black man to another. All right. He said, this night, they want you and they continue to want you. He said, the FBI, the government is so advanced, they can have planes that you can't see, but can read your license plate. They say most of the people you want to talk to, your guys, shit, probably wearing a wire. And I didn't say nothing then, I thought about it. And then as life went on, everything is cameras, everything is conversation. For a guy, a part of a certain world, and you never go to jail, and you never go to prison, it's impossible.
In your opinion or knowledge, how long was he an informant?
I think probably since the 90s.
Wow.
We had a conversation before, and if look at the things he was able to do. You were able to do all these things, nothing happened. His friend, one of his partners, they got convicted for selling drugs for the company. Nothing never happened to him. And he got Obama to give him a pardon with no problem at all. I can go to Obama and say, hey, my childhood friend is in prison for life, let him go. It would never happen.
That's for sure. And that did happen with Puffy.
We wouldn't be having. Yeah. 1,000%.
You think Obama had anything to do with any of these parties that he had?
Absolutely.
Wow.
You got presidents, you got preachers, T.D. Jakes is one of the biggest black preachers around that everybody loves. Everybody in prison, if they try to get the word of religion, they're not going to the chapel somewhere. They're turning to watch T.D. Jakes. He had to resign from his whole community.
That's right.
You talking about the top of the top.
Unbelievable.
Of the top.
Man, I mean, I got a lot of questions with this guy, but you answered the first one. How do you get away with something like this for all this time with all these people that are allegedly involved? I want to tell you this. I was in the same tier, the same cell that Epstein was on. And Suge, there's no way in hell that guy could have committed suicide on that tier. I was in there for 7 months. There's no way.
And coming from you, I know you didn't know the truth. And I personally didn't think he was going to commit suicide. But the thing is, he had from Oprah Winfrey to everybody on that island. Anybody with a weird fetish, and that's what underage kids, was on that island. And everybody knew it. So it's not like it's a situation where all of a sudden, maybe, there's been a talk. And you know as well as I know, like you being on the same tier as him, he probably was going to tell it all. He helped himself,
No doubt. No doubt in my mind at all.
They made sure he didn't.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no way he could have done it. First of all, they're watching all the time. There's cameras, and just so happens that one particular time there's no cameras and no one monitoring that. I had eyes on me 24/7 when I was there. So, I mean, I knew it was impossible.
Always.
Yeah.
You have that one time to yourself.
Nothing
You're
at all.
always watching yourself.
So
Always. No, yeah.
let me ask you this. What do you think's going to happen with Puffy at the end of the day? I mean, you think there's going to be a cover up with this because, the right people are involved and they'll cover it up? I think it's gotten to a point where they can't cover it up anymore.
I know pretty much. I can't say I'm 1,000% factual about the shit, but we know where it came from. It's this thing. Puffy been repeating what they've been doing to him for years, how he started off. And it was okay to do what he was doing. At the same time, I feel one of the biggest mistakes he made was going against the liquor, the alcohol guys. And bootlegging been around. That started with the Kennedys.
Right.
Kennedys became president because they started with bootlegging, boys liquor. And they gave him an opportunity to get into that business. But he did a great job for them. A lot of people thought Ciroc they didn't know what it was, and they thought it was nasty. And all of a sudden, he started promoting it and marketing it and became big. And he bullshit gave him $1,000. He never gave him nothing. After it came amazing big, at the same time, he wanted more of the pie. I'm not saying he didn't deserve more of the pie. I didn't say he didn't because I went in that meeting. What I did know, when they didn't give me what he wanted, he turned around and told him that he was going to sue him. He was going to tell him he played the black card. I'm going to say you guys are racist. I think once he told them that they was racist, they felt a certain kind of way, like saying, wait a minute, we was good to you, now you're going to call us racist. And you know as well as I know, one of the fastest ways to just destroy a brand is somebody a racist. Child molester or rapist, right? And so I'm quite sure they took it as he trying to destroy them. And the oldest saying in the world is that if you live in a glass house, don't start a rock fight.
Right.
So when he started a rock fight, that opened up the box for them to go look. Since he had the skeletons in his closet, they attacked him. And one thing led to another. But Puffy always participated, and a lot of his people participated in law enforcement. So I guess they figure, this is a guy that gave the key to the city. This is a guy that they know for a fact his company was built with drug money. they know for a fact his partners ended up in federal prison for distributing cocaine. Everybody knew for a fact that he got them a partner to get out of prison, federal prison, and gave him, yeah, he got out, the opportunity to make money in this company. So that's not a regular motherfucker from the ghetto who just jumps in the water and swims to land. That's somebody from the ghetto that always had a past and always had favors from the law enforcement to do what he wanted to do. And while we swimming get to the land, he was getting a ride on the boat. Big difference. And how you can know that to be factual facts. It was a situation where I got Pac out of prison. So when I got Pac out of prison, we going to the Soul Train Awards. At the Soul Train Awards, you have Puffy and Bad Boy and Biggie at the awards. You got me and Pac in the same vehicle, and we all going to the awards. Now, we probably had close to 100 guys from Compton, all in sweatshirts. Matter of fact, we all was in ghetto wear. And you had a whole bus full of guys from the Bay. We all heading to the Soul Train Awards. It was a guy that did security for us that called the police at the Soul Train Awards. Said, hey, you might not want to let them in. They coming to the awards, and we deep. That alone was a Judas move, but it happened. When we got to the gates to get into the awards, they said, like, me and Pac come in, we might come in, or we might can't come in. We leave our vehicles. One of our vehicles, my Hummer was blocking the driveway. Everybody else was on the streets. The vehicles was left in the streets. We had to get through by foot. As we coming in, they trying to come out. We all seen Puffy run and go hide on a limousine. At the same time, the police was on us. As we having this altercation to get past the police, a guy pulls a gun. The guy pulls a gun was a gang member from Compton on a different side of us. Nobody panicked, but they knew where he was from. They knew what happened. So when they said that, crazy thing about all this is that they knew what gang this guy was from. And I'm not saying the gang, but it's only obvious. But if you want to know, it's no puzzle because it's a police report. They take this guy with a gun. Nothing happens. Everything go away. Now, move forward. When we got shot in Vegas, they say this is the same gang that's with Puffy. Nothing happened.
Again.
When the guy involved in jail, when they saying you the guy who's involved with the shooting, Tupac and Tupac's dead. I got a bullet into my skull. Whatever it is, what it is. But at the same time, there was a war in Compton. Everybody who knows anything about anything in Compton, that war, they all salute my neighborhood and say we won the war. I don't think nobody won the war because at the end, everybody pretty much lost a lot. But the guy who's in prison, in jail, waiting for trial, told authorities a long time ago that he paid them to do that.
Puffy paid him?
And at the same time, yeah, there's no puzzle. He said 1,000 times. And they tell this, even from his on the platform, say how it's done. Then on top of that, right, Jimmy I.B., who started Interscope with Ted Fields, when they started Interscope, They was about to go bankrupt in 2 weeks. I told them not only would I save their company, but I'm going to give you the hottest company in the world, Death Row Records, which I did. They claim they love Tupac, but at the same time, Doug Morris is Jimmy Boss, who's running Universal. He gave Puffy a deal, did big money, but it flopped. They lost money. Jimmy Iovine, under the same umbrella, gave him another big deal before they recoup the money. If you don't recoup what you lost already, they're going to give you more money.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they did.
Why do you think they did that, Suge?
Because one, the other stuff they doing. You know, it's not about me telling all people personally, but you know as well as I know, all these people use cocaine. All these people use drugs.
Yeah.
All these people mess with underage boys and girls. So it's like them, like even though I don't know you, and if you came to the yard I'm on, I'm gonna send you a pair of cats and give my guy to give you some. I say he's a solid guy. You know, even though we from different states, different race, but he's solid. Here, go look out for him. Like we'll look out for each other who's solid. They gonna look out for each other who do the real, the weirdo stuff. And you know it's weirdo stuff because they involved with threatening young girls, and threatening to beat them up, and giving Puffy money come from Interscope or Universal for hush money.
Yeah.
Who would do that? Nobody in the business. But when you look at all those type of things, the biggest victim of all this, believe it or not, he might be a weirdo. Now, I'm not saying everything they allege that he did is true, but a lot of stuff we all been knowing is true. But he the fall guy right now. It's not one celebrity that he hung with is speaking up for him. Snoop and Puffy was so close, closer than most.
Really?
They would do things together and party together and do things that it was uncomfortable for two men to be that way. Clark Easy Trey, Russell Simmons, you know.
You think
everybody knew what Puffy did. This the big question is this. It's not one person didn't know that Puffy was Usher. It's not one person didn't know what the saddest thing in the world is what they did to Justin Bieber.
What was that?
That's sad.
What'd they do to him? Because there's a lot of speculation out there, but nobody. I mean, I've heard things, but what did they really do to him?
They had sex with him
when he was a kid.
I hate to say that. I hate to say that because I really like Justin Bieber. I feel bad for Justin Bieber, and this wouldn't have happened if Justin Bieber came from a wealthy family. Justin Bieber pretty much came from a poor family, but the young man was so talented, and he could have been bigger than Michael Jackson. But the depression of the drugs and the stuff he allowed these grown men to do to this little boy is unhealthy and it's fucked up. No grown men supposed to be getting high and doing drugs and drinking with a kid.
Hey, Suge, you know, Justin Bieber has been getting this out in different ways. You know, you could see it in his music and just what he's been trying to say without saying it. So, I mean, I think everybody knows what you just stated to be true.
I mean, you had grown men would take Justin Bieber. A grown man take Justin Bieber when he was young to a vacation, a romantic vacation, showing pictures on the Instagram with no women, nobody else but a grown, successful man and this little kid. And even if you and I was going on vacation together, and regardless if the wives mad or not, it's definitely not going to be in me and you. It's going to be mad because we're going to have some there. Or I'm not going to be sitting on a romantic island, just you and me.
Hell
you
no.
know what I mean?
Hell no.
I'd rather take the chance. I'd rather take the chance of my girl saying, hey, you know, you up there having parties and all, you right. She damn sure ain't going to say this, you and I on a romantic island, that's us.
Hell
so when
no.
they took Justin Bieber and just them, not only is it a bad look, it's sad.
Yeah.
But the worst part about it is, everybody said what was done to Usher, and and they done to Justin Bieber. And the thing with Usher spent the night and him and Puffy being in the same bed to do an album, and they never did one song they put out at that time. On top of that, when I met Usher, I came on one time. I'm speaking to the guy because he got good songs. That's out of respect. Like young black man. This dude rolled his eyes at me. And so there was somebody came over as a captain and said, Suge, you know, don't have one of your guys do nothing to him. He a good young man, but him and Puffy got a thing. He a thing. He said, he gave me a look like, you know. And I thought about it. The way he rolled his eyes at me, it wasn't like somebody homie rolled it. It was like I beat up somebody, man. Like I beat his, you know, he the bitch. Like somebody to roll their eyes, like you beat my boyfriend up. I ain't speaking to you.
Really?
It was one of those, right? Yeah, for sure. And the crazy thing about it is like Leslie, his mother, and everybody else said the same thing. Well, it was wrong, but if we go and get Puffy in trouble behind that, Usher wouldn't be Usher. He'd be known as the guy who got molested by Puffy, and they didn't want that. They wanted the money.
I met Usher back in, I think, 1999 or 2000. I did a concert up in San Francisco, and I had Usher and Casey and JoJo and a bunch of guys back then. And he was a nice kid at that time, man. He was respectful, and he did a great job. I guess this was before Puffy got a hold of him.
I don't have nothing bad to say about Usher. Usher's talented. He's a good guy, you know, and all that stuff. I mean, you said you did concert with Casey and JoJo, and Jodeci Devante is one of the greatest producers, greatest guys in the world, those guys. I love all those guys. But they had their run in, they know the truth. Everybody in the industry know what's been going on. Everybody know which one's taking it, which one's not taking it. But you got to realize one thing. This didn't start just with Usher and Justin Bieber or Puffy. It started with Michael Jackson. It started with, we can go on and on. Now, Puffy was being with L.A. Reid and Babyface. And fruit don't fall far from the tree.
Damn.
If you want to know the truth of the facts, that it's not nobody going to tell you that neither one of those dudes enjoy men. And when you really look at the situation in Hollywood, most of the guys who see, reason why it's bad for the gay community, because the gay community look at it like this. At least you know they gay. These guys saying they're not gay, they're just having fun. So they really know everybody, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, in Hollywood, a guy who's a homosexual, you got to get him married right away. When Andre Young told me immediately that he messed with men, I had to get him married right away. When all these guys, it's no different, but when you look at it, you take Tracy Edmond.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful woman. She was trained, like other women was trained, to mess with guys who's gay in the industry, called a cover-up. Even if they got to have a baby by him, even if they got to make him look good. So when you look at the people that she was married to Babyface. Everybody know Babyface and Damian Thomas was lovers and a whole bunch of other people. There's no puzzle. Everybody knows that at the same time that she was married to Eddie Murphy.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a situation where don't nobody know and they never talk about Eddie Murphy. Right?
Right.
And she was also married to with Deion Sanders.
Really?
And when nobody expect prime time to be prime time, but see,
No.
21 is 21, more ways than one. So these are facts that have been going around in the industry. So it's like, okay, so anybody in the industry been knowing this, what's going on. And they create this monster, kept growing and growing and growing and growing. Now it's at the point where so many people been destroyed, lives been destroyed. And more importantly, it's a bad day for hip hop. And I'm not jumping up and down because Puffy's in jail. I'm not jumping up and down because he's gonna get what he got coming if he got something coming to that. Because when you really look at it, I would sit in a room that I have a problem with somebody and don't like somebody, but resolve it. I'm not one who want to put the police on somebody. But one thing you got to remember, I would still say Puffy still deserves a fair trial. And I know I can get a fair trial. There's a guy named Garagos who's a wonderful lawyer. But Garagos' daughter is representing Puffy also. So I would throw him a play. The real play is this. Puffy can get bail. Only way he needs to get bail is the lawyers need to go in and say, hey, put him in a hotel where he can't leave the hotel on a high floor, and they can pay 24 hours police security watching the door. And they would get his man bail and let him stay there while he's doing his trial. Because he's still innocent. He hasn't been proven guilty yet. If they worried about him being a flight risk or threatening anybody or molesting some boys or girls, whatever they want to say, put him in a hotel room on a 30th floor, no access to the phone stuff. His kids can come visit him and come see him. His mother can come visit, come see him. And let him have a fair trial. Because his life is in danger while he's in custody because he knows too much. Well, powerful people.
Let me ask you this.
They'll give him bail.
Yeah, I think for appearance sake, they're afraid to do that. But I got two questions. One, Clive Davis, his name has been thrown around a lot now, and he's not speaking out. I know some people that know Clive, and I think he's got concerns. Now, he's a powerful guy, no question about it. But did you ever hear anything about him?
Puffy and Clyde, according to Puffy and everybody else, they've been lovers. Shit, Clyde know Ray J, Clyde know Puffy, Clyde know everybody. Clyde's that type of guy. And if you notice, somebody sent me a clip one time on my tablet, and somebody asked Clyde about Puffy. And they called me, they asked him about it. He acted like he didn't know who the man was, like he never knew him. I mean, what is you hiding, Clyde? You know?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, Clyde is one of the guys who got away. But old as Clyde is, he should be able to tell the truth. It ain't like he got a lot to live on Earth. I'm quite sure he is slowly coming to a painful end, you know? But anybody is judged differently, and what I mean by that, you take the Menendez brothers. They all over the news. Anybody get out of prison, I'm fine with that. But you look at how it starts, of the politics of it.
Yep. Let me ask you, knowing Puffy like you do you think he'll stand up? Can he take the jail time?
Well, I think Puffy will be all right in prison. Because you got to realize one thing. I don't want to put it out there like this, but shit, if the allegations that everybody's saying is true, they got a lot of baby on in prison, and they got a lot of motherfuckers want to be happy. You know, no family business in prison like you got in the state. And the second thing about it, people can say a lot of things about Puffy, but Puffy's not an idiot. He might be stupid, but he's not an idiot. He's smart. He would know how to use money and navigate through the federal system. I'm quite sure he's going to hook up with, some area and pay them to feel good one way or the other. But me personally, I think they should give Puffy some type of deal to the fact that let him tell it all like he want to tell it all. Because I'm quite sure it's a whole bunch of secrets. Puffy's more like a guys who do those type of crimes is, and I hate to say ahead of time because he's still innocent to prove guilty, but if everything's true, guys who sexual predators or serial rapists is no different than a serial killer. They keep photographs and videos of their victims. They got a fetish to go back and watch them. They got all the Puffy videos and pictures, so he have a lot to say and a lot to prove, and I think he's going to tell it all. Matter of fact, I can't see him falling and nobody else falling with him.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, and so many people have been silent about it. You hear things because I got my ear to the wall with some people I know in the industry, and we're hearing things. I don't want to mention names because the names haven't been mentioned, but silently we hear it, and nobody's saying anything. A few people are running scared from what I hear, but we'll have to see how it all pans out. But I don't think he's going to go down alone. That's my opinion.
Well, one thing about me is this: I don't believe in everybody going by rules that a lot of us go by. And I know you're going to do what you're going to do. I'm quite sure you're going to tell it all. But at the same time, in a way, it's a good thing because this been going on. I don't believe in taking advantage of the people who's not part of the game. We playing a football game. We on the field. We doing the hitting. We know what we signed up to do. The person in the stands who's watching the game should get hit. So, far as the industry is concerned, they've been manipulating that industry, and they're not doing all these sexual acts and getting all these people on drugs just to get them on drugs and just to do the sexual acts. They're not doing all these sexual acts just for enjoyment. They're doing it for control. They're doing it for the power. They're doing it for blackmail. They doing it for when one of these guys get out of line and you show them that picture or show them that video. They say, do you think the people want to know you're involved in this? And I think that if Puffy get up there and tell the truth, it's going to finally stop the weird shit in the industry that's been going on since the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, and even now. But he shouldn't be the only one getting punished for these shameful acts. You know, if two men get into a fight and somebody gets beat up, I don't have a problem with that. If somebody's beating up a woman or raping a woman, I have a problem with that. If somebody you are manipulating and picking little boys, you like Kevin Campbell and all the rest of these guys in this industry, I have a problem with that. I think it's absolutely wrong to take a poor person and tell them they got to give that another man put his penis in their mouth for a record deal. That's just not fair. And it's not acceptable. And I think that if the prosecution, if they really care about culture or hip-hop or the music business or the entertainment business, because some of these people are actors and actresses too. Let's stop it once and for all. Put it on the table. Let Puffy put that shit on the table. Ones who participated in doing some of these underage people, it's a problem. And they wouldn't give me a break. They wouldn't give you a break. They don't give us a break even when we right.
That's for sure.
But I do feel for Puffy's mother. I do feel for all of Puffy's kids. One of his kids I know well, Justin. I know he got 2 twin daughters. You know, I don't think that's something to run these people's lives over something their father participated and did, and he did not act alone at all. If you and I and 5 other guys shoot somebody, we all getting punished. So what's the difference if Puffy's not acting alone, that no one else in the industry getting looked upon? It's a real sad day. Not one person to eat with him, slept with him, woke up in the same bed with him, don't even say hi to him. It's crazy. It makes no sense.
No, you're right on that.
That's my opinion.
You're right on that.
It's good and it's an honor to talk to you, man, because, you know, you push the truth.
Hey, well,
you're not like all these other guys trying to change history.
Well,
it's really an honor.
I got to ask you a question. This is something that came up. Did you ever meet my father, Sonny Francis?
No.
You never met him, right?
I don't think so. Did he ever come to L.A. or was he ever in New York?
He was in New York. He never been to L.A. Do you ever remember meeting my brother John?
John, where was John? Did John ever mess around in the music business at all?
He had his hand in it a little bit. He was dealing, I was away at the time, but he was dealing with, or trying to get involved in some way. The reason I'm asking you, there was a video put out by a guy that wrote a book that said that you had and I knew this was false. I said it wasn't true. I would have known about it or heard about it. My father or brother would have told me that had a meeting with you at a place in New York and that my dad threatened you. And it went into this whole thing, and the guy called me on it. I said, this is a bunch of bull. Never happened.
Yeah, I never met none of them.
Yeah, I didn't think so. These people, they just make things up.
The sad thing about it is most of the guys on these podcasts and these stuff, the social media, 99% of the stuff they talk about be a lie. And the crazy thing about it, most of those guys that work for the authorities, talk to the authorities, or they deal with the people where they want to rewrite history. And the last thing I want to say, man, is I always try to do a lot for the community, give away toys and turkeys and all that stuff, and I've been here, but it's a thing that I'm helping out. Not me, it's not my thing. I'm just trying to do some stuff for a lot of the women. I think the women is so important in the world. I love all my kids, but my daughter is always so special. And this organization is called Girl Mondays to Sunday, and it's really important that women know they're powerful, they got pride, they got respect about themselves, and they sell clothes. And holidays coming up, if anything I can do by pay for a few things and let you give them away stuff for gifts, it's all about the women. Because it's a man's world, as James Brown would say, but it will be nothing without a woman. And that's the most important thing, and that's why I push. I'm happy about it.